At the core of the social web lies the ability to interact with your readers. In a WordPress-based site, this interaction is mainly done through comments. Having an active commenting community attached to your site can be hugely rewarding, but because anyone can comment and not everyone who comments has good intentions, comment management is a necessary evil. In many ways, comment spam is now a bigger problem than email spam, because whereas when you send email spam, it lands in someone's inbox, when you put up comment spam, it lands on the internet and other people can interact with it, even if they didn't receive it. As a result, WordPress.com has put up some pretty severe walls to block commenting spam that are triggered when people try to put in garbage comments in a blog post. But before we get to that, let's look at what happens when you create a blog comment. You see here, I visited the Samoka News site without being logged in, so there's no toolbar at the top, which means I can comment without being logged in. If I scroll to the bottom of this post, I can already see that someone has commented, well, someone being me pretending to be someone else, and I see that comment appear because it has been approved. From here, I can now leave a new comment if I want to. I've already filled one in under here, and then I either have to leave my credentials by entering an email and a name, or I can log in using either WordPress.com, Twitter, or Facebook. If I log in as either of these, I don't need to enter my information because it'll be grabbed from these services. So what I'm going to do now is pretend to be someone else. Let's say I know someone's email address. They are a user of WordPress.com, but that person is not me. So I'm going to say morten@samoka.org and put in the username, which is Samoka Morten. What happens if I now click post comment? Well, you'd think that I'd be able to just post a comment, right? But WordPress is too smart. It knows that this is already an account with WordPress.com, so it won't let me post that comment unless I enter a password. So no one can pretend to be you posting as you on WordPress.com. That's great. But I can still go in and just put in some garbage here. So I'll just say @.com and give myself a name. I am cool. And then I can click post comment. Now that comment is pushed into the system, you can see it appears here, but it says your comment is awaiting moderation. That's because I turned on some basic moderation features in my site earlier in the course. Now I can go to my other browser where I am logged in to my dashboard, and I'll refresh this page. And you see right here at the top in the WordPress toolbar, I have a flag. It's an orange flag that says 3. That means there are now 3 new comments, and I can see them right here. I have some notifications saying that there are things going on my site. That means I should really go check out my comments section. So I'm going to go to the dashboard, go down to comments, and open the comments section. And here I see all the comments for all the posts and pages on my site. I can see that I have some approved comments. There are the gray ones here because they've already been approved. I have some comments that are awaiting moderation or are pending. Those are the yellow ones. And if I had some spam ones, they would also appear as spam. So now I can read these comments and see if I want to approve them or not. So I'll start off by reading the top one. It says, great shot. I like seeing pictures of people at art galleries, but I noticed that this email address is a garbage email address. Even so, I can see where the comment came from. And in this case, it's the IP address of my own site. But I might want to follow that IP address and just see where it leads in case this turns into be someone who wants to comment spam later. Because what happens is, in my case, I've made it so that if you comment and I approve your comment once, then you're allowed to comment again. So I'm hesitant to approve this comment simply because I see that this address is garbage. So I'm going to put it into the spam box, even though it doesn't look like spam. I have another comment here, and when I read it, it looks like it comes from a real address, and it has some text in it that doesn't have any links in it. However, when I actually read it out loud, you'll see that it doesn't make any sense at all. Definitely agree with what you stated. Your explanation was clearly the easiest to understand. I tell you, I usually get irked when folks discuss issues that they plainly do not know about. The problem is, this comment, though it seems like a real comment, is attached to a post that only has a photo in it. Meaning, this is kind of a generic comment that's been put out there to lure you to accept it as a real comment, and then they get into the system and then they can start spamming your site. So again, this is obviously a spam comment, but it's really well camouflaged. So again, I'm going to click spam to get rid of it. If I'm unsure and I think, oh, maybe I spammed something that wasn't spam, Or what happens to me sometimes is someone emails me and says, hey, I left a comment, but it didn't show up. I can go to my spam box, find that comment, and then say not spam, and it gets added back into the system. From this comment section, I can also go in and either unapprove a comment, reply to a comment, edit the comment, or look at the comment history. So let's say I want to reply to this comment. I think it's a good comment, and I want to engage this viewer so that she'll respond back and we get a rapport. I'll simply click on reply, and then I can put in a comment right here and click reply. And if I go back to my other browser window now and reload the page, you'll see that within the comment she left, great photo, here's now my reply from Samoka News. I can also moderate comments directly from my individual posts. If I go to the posts, I can see what kind of interaction different posts have. And you see down here, we have the Woman at Gallery story, and it has 2 comments already. I can now go here and click on it, scroll down, and I'll see all those comments right within the post. And from here, I can do the exact same thing I could do in the comments moderation window. I can unapprove, reply, do an edit of the post, or spam or trash it. That means you can manage your comments from many different places. If you want to change the overall settings for comments on your entire site, you do that under Settings and Discussion. Now, I covered this briefly in an earlier movie, and you'll notice that there are a lot of different functionality here that you can turn on or off, and the best way of doing this is simply reading them all, because they're pretty obvious once you read the description what the different ones do. To allow people to comment, I have to make sure that this allow people to post comments on new articles box is checked. If I do so, I should really make sure that I have the first one of the comment settings here, comment author must fill out name and email, checked so that people can't just spam your site with tons of comments. You can also choose whether or not you want people to be registered and logged in to comment. That means people have to follow your blog and be accepted as a follower before they can comment. Further down, you have this before a comment appears section that allows you to check if an administrator must always approve the comment, which means every time a comment comes in, you have to approve it. So that's a lot of work, and I'll turn that off. And you can set it so that the comment author must have a previous approved comment. And that's where that spam trick comes in. Remember I said how people will leave comments that look real on your blog? It's because they know that in some cases, they already have to have an approved comment in the system to be allowed to spam your site. So they'll send comments to your site that look real to get you to approve them, and then they'll start spamming your site. So to avoid that, you should always leave this on and be very diligent about your moderation. However, there's one last thing. There's a difference between comment moderation and comment censorship. If you start censoring your comments based on the content, meaning if someone says something you don't like, or if someone is criticizing you in a nice way, you really shouldn't take it out just because you don't like it. If you censor your blog too much, then people will notice that you only see good things on your blog and it's not necessarily a good thing. However, if people put up things like hate speech, or people do things that you don't like, or say things you don't like, or link to things you don't like, you should always take it off. Because your blog is your face to the world. So if people find things that are offensive on your blog, they'll assume it's from you every time. Comments are a great way to build a community and drive new followers to your site. And the best way to keep them coming is to join the conversation. Just keep in mind you need to be vigilant with comment moderation, otherwise your site will be overrun with spam very quickly.